And
Robbie from Walking in My Shoes, Thailand.
greetings, my friends. How you doing? We are back for another Saturday, 9 a.m. East Coast, 6 a.m. West Coast, 9 p.m. Philippines, and 8 p.m. in Bangkok, where Robbie is right now, which is basically him going back home.
That's it.
So that's what we're going to talk about today. And one of the things we were just talking a little bit about a few seconds ago before we went live was what Robbie's got coming up. And so naturally he was like, Mike, have you ever heard of Ladyboys? So I'm going to turn it over to him and let him talk about his experience. But no, what were you saying? You've got a whole bunch of videos coming up, right?
Yeah, so on my channel, Walking My Shoes Thailand, I do have a plethora. By the way, I hope you guys like that word, plethora, thanks to Dan Aykroyd. Videos coming up, and one, or actually two of them, of Ladyboy Alley, and that's kind of what we were talking about.
Ladyboy Alley, that's right.
Yep, on my last video, which is my most popular video with, I want to say 34 or 35,000 views.
You're probably close, almost 40,000, I'm sure. Yeah, Ladyboy
Oh
Alley.
my gosh. And we didn't find one Ladyboy. However, I think it really was just Mike being with me.
I have this like kryptonite towards silicone. So yeah.
So guys, definitely welcome on board. Welcome watching this one of many interviews with an expat. I think that's just the series we're kind of going through right now.
Yeah.
With the goal of doing this weekly. And we're going to talk about some crazy stuff like Ladyboy Alley, which is for you guys who have been here at Soy 6.1 or 6.1.5. How do they call it?
6/1 or 6.1 usually is what they'll call it.
6/1. So I just walked down there again. Actually, I took a drive on a motorbike, and I was with Kitty. And for those you don't know, Kitty is my Thai girlfriend, and we drove on a motorbike.
Bodyguard, right?
Bodyguard, that's correct.
Yes.
So you can go to my channel and view that video. I think it was a couple of days ago video. It's done quite well, actually. Check it out. And we still didn't come across Ladyboys.
Wait, what time were you there?
Well, that ride was that wasn't the night crawl. That was during the day. So I will be doing a night crawl.
Yeah. If it's light out, and they're kind of like cockroaches. And I don't know why cockroaches came to mind, but
bam.
No, boom. That's what we need. We need like one of those rim shots. And
dude.
Rim shot, cockroach. Where am I going today? For the love of God,
I don't know. We're gonna get sanctioned here.
I think.
I like how Nomad Global Production says, "Good evening, ladies."
Indeed,
hey, this is fitting.
Yes.
Good evening to you. Glad you can join in for sure. So
that's Chris.
Anyways,
Chris is a huge fan of both of our channels, and he is down in Australia, so he's bringing the whole continent with him.
Right on. The Aussie Posse, which, by the way, guys, I'm meeting with them tomorrow at 3 p.m. for a barbecue with tomahawk steaks.
Ooh.
And it's going to be pretty awesome. Yeah, I will be filming it and doing a little promo. His name is Martin, part of the Aussie Posse, I call them.
Okay.
I met them in Phuket on my last visit. So yeah, it was pretty awesome.
So, I mean, what's their story? I mean, because I know that there's obviously Wombat and Kiwi Bar. That's spoken about with a lot of YouTube guys there. But that's, again, that's more New Zealand, right? The Kiwi thing. But are there a lot of Aussies that go there regularly?
To Phuket?
No, Wombat.
Sorry. Oh, yeah. Well, there's definitely a lot. It's interesting as Martin has never even heard of the Wombat.
Oh.
So we're actually going to a new kind of a bar place, his shop here in Jomtien on Soy 14. So it's only one street over from where I'm at right now.
Okay, got it.
So, yeah. So real quick, Martin is an expat here. He is going to be part of the Cool Kids table. And hopefully, I think Mike's going to like the guy. The guy's a great personality, and he's an entrepreneur, and like myself, but he has already gone through the transition, and he stays in Pattaya Tally 1 or something like that.
View Tale 1 is
View
probably what he says. And Tale,
yeah,
you with your Thai girlfriend, she obviously told you that means.
I don't know.
Ocean, Tele. So
Ocean view.
View Tele 1, and then there's like View Tele 6 in Pattaya. There's View Tele 1 and 7, I think, near where you live there in Jomtien. But
yeah. So real quick, just a quick update on the last live stream we did. I was back in the United States in Pismo Beach.
Yes.
And since then, which is what, a week later? Was this a week and a half later? Whatever, 2 weeks later?
Yeah, 2 weeks since our last live stream, yeah.
Okay, back here in Jomtien, back home, where I am making my home. And I got to do several things this past 2 weeks, which I'm going to let you guys all know what I did. And we hope to be shooting these videos, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, every week. So hopefully next Saturday, we'll be shooting at the same time.
I think we can do that, because the nice thing about me being like morning time here in the U.S. Is we're on the same day. I find that a lot of people get confused. Like when I was doing 9 a.m. live streams in Thailand, that people are like, well, wait, but that's like Friday, right? So anyway, so happy Saturday all over your body, because it's Saturday morning here in the United States and Saturday evening in Thailand and Southeast Asia, where Robbie is situated.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that that we were also talking about before we hit the go live button was that a guy reaches out to me. He's 21 years old. He's got his bachelor's degree in English with literature that he's going to be completing at UCSD here in the next few months. And he wants to move to Bangkok and teach English. And I was telling Robbie, I'm like, okay, so guess what? One of the first things he asks me is, how much does it cost me to live there? He goes, because I see guys that are like, it's $1,500 or you're going to die. You're not going to be able to live well, and all that sort of thing. And I said, well, dude, it depends. What do you want to do? And he's like, well, I don't want to go to any go-go bars or anything like that. And I'm like, wait, you're 21? You sure? No. But the point is that it's one of the things that you and I talk about constantly, right? And we're like, oh my God, there's so many videos on that. We shouldn't do that. Am I going to really do it? Yeah. I mean, you're a new YouTuber, so it's like naturally you have to do a cost of living video, right? It's almost like like a requirement. Yeah, and like what it costs to live there for a month, I think you did, and all this.
Yes, I did.
And people still, to this day, they're like, yeah, but how much does it really cost? And I am always, the problem with me, I think, is that my answer to pretty much every single question that people ask me about being an expat in Southeast Asia anywhere is, it depends. Because they ask me how much is this? What's this going to take? What's going to,
Yeah.
What is it? They ask me what a beer costs. I'm like, dude, if you watch my channel for more than 15 minutes, I'm freaking 30 years sober. I haven't the foggiest idea. But of course you see.
I will tell you.
Yeah, they could. Yeah. What's the last time you had a beer that you paid 80 baht probably?
Hey, so right now at the Wombat, 50 baht for a Leo.
Ding, 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 ding. First advertiser.
As of today, 50 baht I saw today. I was at the Wombat.
50 baht for Leo. Wow.
Yep, 50 baht. Now, it was a can, so I'm assuming that's a smaller deal or whatever.
Oh, that's a good question, because, of course, we have 12-ounce Cokes, right, here in the United States. But, of course, the Coke in Pattaya, or in Thailand, for that matter, is that 8.5 ounces. So, when you get a can of beer, is it 12 ounces in Thailand? I don't even know.
I don't drink a whole bunch myself, other than when I go out to a bar, and I don't go to Go-Go's very often or anything like that. So
you probably get a draft, or do you usually get a bottle?
He said those were cans. So I did talk to him today, and he offered me a free drink for the first time. It was pretty amazing. Wow. Thanks, Steve. Dude. I know, drinks are coming.
BFF.
And, I know, man. And the place was packed, by the way.
What time were you there?
Last week. So I was there right at the buffet time. Actually, I was the first in line. So that would be 5 o'clock,
and this is
4 to 5 or 5 to 6.
And this is what, every Friday?
So that's every Saturday.
Every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Yeah, every Saturday. But he does specials like that all the time. So just a little tip for you guys who are coming over visiting. If you're in Jomtien, the Wombat and Kiwi, I can't speak highly enough of it. I think they're great people over there. It's a good place to go. Check it out. And it's a good place to meet people like myself who could give you some words of advice or just say hello.
And right there on Jomtien Beach Road and Soy.
Oh, boy.
6, 7?
8?
I bet Mitch knows. Mitch goes there all the time. Hello, Katie.
Right.
Sorry, I forgot to say hello.
There she is. And matter of fact, Mitch, if you can respond and tell us exactly where it's at, that would be awesome.
Now, what if there were only a global information network that we could somehow access via our laptops that would tell us the exact address of such an establishment? Imagine.
I don't, then we'd be out of business, right? This is
Yeah.
why we're here. It's for
No,
you guys, honestly.
what the hell would I need Mitch for? Well, there's the Guggle. Love the Wombat and Kiwi Bar. Steve Ahoy are great people. Soy 9. Thank you very
There
much.
it is.
Mitch, ding, ding,
So-
ding with the answer.
I actually got a chance to meet Mitch last week at the YouTuber meetup,
Very cool.
along with several other YouTubers. And I don't mind putting a shout out for these guys. I really appreciate you guys really helping me out, guide my journey over the past 3 years of making this transition and meeting you guys. It's really awesome. And to have a meetup place where guys can go meet the YouTubers, ask questions. And man, that's just what a bonus. And for myself, as somebody coming over, I'm on my 4th flight over or 5th flight over, and still going through the transition and we're going to talk about that, from becoming a holiday visitor to a full-time retirement visitor.
Right. Now, it's interesting.
I appreciate you guys.
Because Robbie and I met because like a lot of YouTubers, right? COVID hits and we're like, okay, so I used to have a travel channel, but now I'm in lockdown. And so we all started doing live streams, which for me was like this fantasy because it's like, oh my God, I could go on the radio again, And so I started doing live streams like quite frequently. And some of them I would do even 8, 9, 10 hours. And Robbie from Pismo Beach would hop on. And now at the time, your handle was just Robbie, right? Like Robbie Shipman, I think. And now his channel, of course, Walking in My Shoes, Thailand. And, so we started talking and stuff. And then I think it was like, was it 2 trips ago where you're like, you sent me a message, hey, dude, I'm in Bangkok. Let's meet up. And we had bagels, right?
Yeah.
And it was one of those deals where I'm sure like you now and many other people that are on the channel, you get subscribers. They're like, hey, dude, you want to meet up? Sure. And you meet, you're like 10, 15 minutes. Oh, awesome. Great. Have a great time. Here's my line. Let me know if you and I 3 hours later are still like talking about stuff. And so it's really neat to be here and be part of like your channel, know a little bit about your life, know your girlfriend, eventually you'll meet Gracie. I swear to God, she exists. And, but like, so we're starting down on this journey, right? And it's like, I'm watching you and we're both almost like at the same thing. It's just, I maybe have a little bit more experience.
Oh, you have way more experience, but
a lot more mistakes. But it's really
which
neat
I appreciate.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, whatever you do, don't do this. 6/1, stay away from that street in podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
You're like, okay, so go down that street, Mike? Yes.
Don't take your YouTube camera down that street.
I'll tell you, though, I mean, it's pretty fun because, right? I mean, when's the last time that, like, you got all these, how many people said to you, oh, dude, watch out for the lady boys, right? It's like
everybody, and you know what? They're
cool.
Dead wrong.
Yes, they're totally wrong.
I love them.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed that part of this transition to Thailand, meeting Kitty, which she's online. So if you guys want to say hi to her, she is actually on.
Does she have a channel?
Somewhere.
Does she have a I mean,
no,
I know her name
doesn't.
is okay. Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just she's probably mildly wealthy from that brand. But but I mean, that's a neat name for her to have on YouTube. Hello Kitty.
That's a neat one. So if you guys have watched any of those videos, you'll get a chance to meet her and learn more about her. And real quick, she would love it if you guys, kind of said, "Hey, you're learning better English," or I mean, she's speaking better than me right now. So she's in full-time school.
Is she talking a lot on your channel? I haven't watched the video in several videos of yours, but is she? That's great. That's very cool.
So she is talking quite a bit now and doing really well. And that's going to be a video we're going to be posting is if you have a Thai girlfriend, how do you get them to speak more English? Which is something I have never seen on a YouTube yet. I'm thinking, man, that would be cool because this class is pretty much nothing. It's 300 baht for 3 months. So 100 baht a month.
Awesome.
And it's every day a week. It's 5 days a week.
And it's funny, right? Because a lot of people would be like, okay, so how do I learn to speak Thai, Mike? I'm coming over there and do I learn, so I take lessons here in the US before I go. I'm like, absolutely not, because you're just going to forget it. It's going to be different. Don't worry about it. Maybe get a CD, a DVD that you can listen to in the car as you're cruising around or whatever, USB stick. But For me, it was, interface with the Thai people. Get a Thai girlfriend or don't get a Thai girlfriend, or get a Thai friend, or just like hang out, or somehow go to meetups where there's a lot of Thai people there, wealthy Thai people, of course, because their English is going to be good, but then they'll also revert back to Thai, and that'll allow you to. But are you guys speaking? Do you speak Thai with her at all?
My Thai is
Yeah.
not much of anything, but
sure.
I'm learning a little bit. I
Right.
can understand it more than I can speak it.
Okay.
So if someone's talking it, I can actually pick up some words.
Yeah.
Which has been great. And it's hanging out with some of you guys. Some of the expats are already over here, and they're telling me which words. And Kitty did teach me a couple of bad words, which we're not going to talk about now because I will get killed, is what she says. So she says, don't say that word.
Yeah, right.
Don't say those things. Mama will.
Mm-hmm.
So I am learning a little bit of Thai, not as much as I probably should. And that's something I'm going to investigate further and hopefully learn from you guys on, should I take Thai lessons? Should I do Muay Thai, which is not the speaking part, of course. But to get an education visa. So come November, when I'm back again, so I go back to the States here in about 3 or 4 weeks. I go back to the States, and I'm there for 2 months, and then I come back to Thailand on a one-way ticket. So I do not have a ticket back to the States after that. So, which is a huge nerve-wracking step for me, guys.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, it's exciting, but at the same time, it's like, oh, what if, I mean, again, at the end of the day, what if something goes wrong? Well, then I just fly back to the U.S.
Fly back to the U.S.
So it's not like you're,
if I have to,
distancing yourself. And then, of course, and but it was interesting. So Robbie and I are like really good friends, right? And he was still looking out for companies to advise him on what visa to get and how to get a visa and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, come on. And that's the thing that he and I talked about too, because we have a lot of people that come up to us and they're like, what should I do? Should I do this? Some guy on YouTube told me that I should form a business so that I can get a long stay visa. And it's like, Jesus Christ, where are you getting this data? Because I always say to guys, like, if you are from the U.S., because I don't know how it works in the UK or whatever, but if you're from the U.S., before you leave the U.S., get yourself a couple of things. From a U.S. perspective, sign up for a Trusted Traveler program, get global entry. That allows you to get back in and out of the United States in less than 60 seconds. And if you've ever waited 2 hours at LAX to get back in, you would pay $100 that day to get in. And it's $100 for 5 years to get this thing, which also allows you the ability to get the APEC Business Travel Card, which allows you to get in and out of Thailand, and all of the ASEAN countries, also in less than 60 seconds in the priority lane. Then get yourself especially for people that like you and I, or that are over 50, get yourself a retirement visa, or the OA visa. The OA is the retirement visa you get outside of Thailand. And that effectively allows you to come basically in and out of Thailand for 2 years, because it is a 1-year visa valid for 1 year. And therefore, at day 360, you leave Thailand for 1 day, come back in. You still have like 3 or 4 days of validity on your visa, but it also allows you a stay of 1 year. So you come back in with a visa that's only valid for a few more days. They stamp you in for 1 additional year. So now you effectively have this 2-year visa that you've only paid once for at the consulate or embassy back in the United States, which also means you do not have to put any money into a Thai bank account for 2 years. You can use the proof that you have enough money in the United States to allow you to stay there basically for 2 years. And at the end of the day, it's approximately $26,000, $27,000, depending upon the exchange rate that's happening right now. Actually, right now, it'd probably be like $23,000. And you just show them a copy of I think I only showed them the last 3 months. It might be the last 6 months. But at the end of the day, if you've got that much money, there's a high likelihood that it's been in one bank for at least 6 months. Regardless, that's what they want to do. And then you just basically, depending upon where you are, so for you, Pismo Beach, you just cruise down to the nearest police station and say, hey, I just need a piece of paper that basically says I'm not a felon. Like, can you guys do that for me? And if they can't or whatever, and if your address is not where you live, then you simply just have to go to there's a special type of post offices, specifically in California, where you can go, give them your fingerprints, give them $50, and then they run it through the FBI system, and it basically says that you have no record, and that you need to prove to the embassy. Yeah. So I mean, it's a process, but just doing all those things, then you show up in Thailand and you're golden. Not only can you cruise back to the U.S. and get back in really fast if you have to, you can cruise all over Southeast Asia and get in all those countries really fast. So I'm sorry, go
Well,
ahead.
let's address what's on the screen right now. Global entry will take over a year right now if you apply as a foreigner. I'm not sure exactly what that means.
Okay, so Mariano
help us out.
is from Germany. Global entry is part of the Trusted Traveler program that is offered by the U.S. And again, when I speak about, travel and that sort of thing, I speak from it obviously from the perspective of being a U.S. citizen and leaving basically from the U.S. I'm also a Canadian citizen, so there's a very similar program. But so global entry, I don't know what they offer for global entry if you're a German citizen, but I can completely understand if you're a German citizen in the U.S. trying to get global entry into the United States, then I can understand why that would take a while. I just renewed my global entry for another 5 years. I was able to do the interview online via Zoom. The woman asked me questions for 15 or 20 minutes. She said, yeah, you'll have your card in like 2 weeks. 4 days later, it showed up. So my experience with global entry has always exceeded my expectations. I have absolutely heard horror stories about everything, not the least of which is Bank of America and Chase and Target and Walmart, and everyone has bad experiences with things, and so do I. But my experience with global entry is that it's very efficient, actually. That said, the reason that I always recommend guys before they leave the U.S. to apply for it is because it is a significant background check. Because they're basically saying, we're going to allow you to come back into the U.S. and not ask you any questions. So we need to trust the shit out of you. So it is effectively a background check that has zero tolerance. Mm-hmm. My buddy got busted like smoking pot at 14. And trust me, that's in your record. This whole like, I was 18 and it got expunged from my record. No, there's computers, dude. And so Homeland Security has access to that database. And so he went in, they said, have you ever been, and he said, no. And they said, denied. And he said, why? He says, you were at 14, you were arrested for, marijuana possession, like in 1970. And he's like, yeah, but that was before I was 8. And they said, no, we asked you, have you ever been? So the point is that if you're, if you've done stuff wrong, you can still apply, but don't lie. That's the worst thing you could do to any government agency. Just say, yes, at 14, I had this. It was expunged from my record. And there's a high likelihood they'll be like, okay, well, you're 61 and you haven't been busted since you were 14.
Sounds and this like is something to get, your long-term visa.
No. This is something to get global entry. And again,
global entry.
Yeah, these are the steps that I always recommended people to do before they leave the U.S. for a significant amount of time. Actually, quite frankly, anyone who gets a passport in the U.S. that's going to travel internationally more than at least once in their life, I highly recommend global entry. Because again, if you're coming back into the U.S. after a 13-hour flight and all you're thinking about is how the hell am I going to get back to Thailand now that I'm back here in paradise of California, the last thing you want to do is wait more than 15 minutes to get back in and get your luggage and get home so you can get on your computer so you can make your next reservation to come back to Thailand.
Right. I found that the most commonly when I've asked people, and you got people who've done the elite visa, but I've also talked to several who talks about just the O visa. Come here on the 30-day holiday, grab the O visa, assuming you can get it. You get your 15 months. I don't know how much you know about that, if that's something.
So here's the
thing. I'd love to hear more about that.
What you just stated is absolutely possible. But the reason they call it a 15-month visa is for a couple of reasons. First of all, you go in and you enter visa exempt, which for guys like us and many other countries allows you to get stamped into your passport. You can stay in their country for 30 days and you can vacation, and that's awesome. And then for another 1,800 baht, you can go to immigration before the 30 days is up and extend that for 30 days, which allows you basically 60 days in the kingdom. In that time, you can absolutely apply for an O visa, which is a long stay visa. O means other, so there's other categories. My wife, who is not 50, she has an O visa because she is basically here. Sorry, she's in Thailand underneath my visa as my spouse. So they give her an O, which is good for 2 years, but that's different. Regardless, the O visa you're talking about, the downside is that means you have to have, I think it's 800,000 baht in a Thai bank account. Yes. And it needs to be there more than 3 months. To get a Thai bank account, you have to have a long stay visa. Now, again, you can get around all of this stuff. I mean, you can get out of a ticket in California on the 15 if you have big boobs too. But I mean, it's like you're going to get a ticket if you go 95 miles an hour. But yeah, So you can always like change things. But the way that the rules are written is you need to have 800,000 baht. It needs to be seasoned, is what they refer to it, in your Thai bank account for over 90 days. Well, if you're there on a tourist visa, how are you going to get a bank account? And if you're there for only 60 days, how the hell is that money going to be there in that bank account for at least 90 days? That's why I highly recommend guys do it before you leave your home country. But
right.
yeah.
And it looks like Dawn, I don't even know who this guy is.
Dawanglu.
Dawanglu, yes. So it says they applied for a global entry, but finding it very difficult. So there are different ways of, which we just talked about, which is what you just mentioned, Mike, is the O visa when you get here, and you can at least try. Or there's also the elite visa, which if you have the cash to do it.
Don't confuse two different things. You're talking about a visa to enter a foreign country. Okay, global entry is a feature that is offered to U.S. citizens to allow them to basically go in and out of the U.S. quickly. Okay, and you have to have a valid passport, obviously, to do that. But so let me just say, I totally understand what you're talking about it being, a pain in the ass and difficult to get the visa. When I landed back in the U.S. this time, I was like pre-approved, right, for the global entry to renew. And they're like, look, the next time you come to the U.S., just go to the airport, go to the global entry office. We'll interview you for like 15 minutes, and then you'll be gone. Great. So I got there. They're way understaffed. Like every single guy is working overtime. And he's like, it's going to be 2 hours for you to wait. And I said, all right, well, that's not happening. The woman next to me, she goes, yeah, it's going to take 6 months to get an interview, blah, 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 blah. I came home. I was home 2 days. I went to the Trusted Traveler website. I looked for an appointment online, and there was one in less than 2 weeks. It was on a Saturday. They're booking appointments on a Saturday virtually. So all I can recommend to you is that every single day or twice a day or whenever you go to the Trusted Traveler website and look for one, because when I went there was like an entire week, 3 weeks ahead of time, like from 2 weeks ahead of where I was. Every single day there was appointments. The day that I made the appointment, there was like 9 appointments, 11 o'clock, 11:30, 11, So just keep trying. I know it can be frustrating. Additionally, I can tell you that what Gracie and I did to get one 5 years ago, I wasn't able to get an appointment in San Diego. We got up in the morning at 4 a.m. and drove to Tucson, Arizona on a Saturday to go to their office because there was a hell of a lot less people there. We got there. I went in. 15 minutes later, we got back in the car, drove 8 hours back to San Diego. So it's all possible. And to be fair, if I wasn't such a cheap bastard, I probably would have booked the silly Southwest Airlines flight and like gone there for a couple of $100, walked into the office, and then walked back onto Southwest and gone home. Yeah. But yeah, keep trying. You got it. You will try. Yeah, please.
Yeah, and if for some reason you can't do your retirement here right away, guys, I've been doing this since 2019, coming back and forth until I'm figuring it out. That's part of walking in my shoes is all about. And getting it figured out, hopefully this November. I hope to be pretty much here on a full-time basis.
Let me ask you, have you ever said, oh, well, I should get a tourist visa? Because some people look at that as an option, and I'm wondering if you have or haven't, and if so, why or why not?
Have I gotten a tourist visa?
Have you ever said, you know what, I should get a tourist visa to go to Thailand? Because, of course, it allows you to stay there for a full 60 days and then extend it for 30. Have you ever thought, I should get one of those?
So I did do an extension through an agency. I think I paid 3,000 baht.
Sure.
Which is a lot more than if I just walked in and did it myself. I think it's like 800 baht. I'm not sure exactly.
1,800.
1,800. Okay, so I pretty much paid twice to not stand in line. Whatever, pay for convenience.
Right. Yep.
And because on my trip before that, I overstayed my travel visa almost 30 days.
I thought you still overstayed by more than that.
No, I only overstayed. I had to pay the fine, a 30-day fine, which really sucked. But, as long as I didn't get too much in trouble, it was just I had to wait an extra half hour at the airport, pay the money, which came out to like 8,000 baht or 10,000 baht. I don't even know exactly what it came out to. Oh, actually, closer to 15,000 baht because it's 500 baht a day. To overstay. Yes. If you overstayed your visa, it's 500 baht for every day you overstay.
And what was their attitude? Were they like, look, dude, slap on the wrist, give us the money? Or they like, listen, you do this one more time, white man, and you are out of here? I mean, did they?
Such a great question, because I know a lot of guys are going to go, what the heck? What do you do? How do you handle it?
Yeah, if I screw
Honestly, up. I did. Yeah, I freaked out when I noticed, oh, shoot, I don't have a visa to stay. and I'm not sure exactly what happened. And then I talked to an agent who here in the dark side of Patia, they call it. I don't remember the agent's name.
Okay.
And she said, it's too late. Just go and pay the fine. Don't worry about it. You'll be okay.
Okay.
Of course, that doesn't tell me a whole bunch. I'm still stressed out, right?
Like, shit, what does that mean? Yeah.
I get to the airport. Of course, being American, I'm kind of drama.
Is that an American thing? Okay.
I don't know. I thought it was a girl thing, but you know what? I'm wrong, guys. I'm wrong.
So I pulled out my
brought my
tampon.
drama.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Pulled down my shorts.
There you go.
And I really thought I was going to get in trouble. I go to the part where you get searched and all that. What do you call it? Security and the immigration part. And they pull me aside, and I had to wait my turn. There's a couple other people there shaking like kittens. It was pretty funny because I was a shaking kitten waiting my turn. And I walk up, and the guy says, you overstayed your visa 15 days, and he has or 30 days as a calculator. And as he's saying it, he's calculating how much I need to pay him. He shows me the number, doesn't say it, shows me it, puts his calculator down, and then just looks at me. And then I knew, okay, I need to pull out this much money.
Right.
Pulled out the money, paid it. He did a couple little stamps, whatever, and I was on my way. Didn't say another word. I thought I'd be in big trouble. I did contact the agent right after that, and she said, no, if you overstay, I think it's 6 months or a year, then they can penalize you.
Oh yeah, no, that's a big deal. Yeah, no, that's a long time. Yeah. And arguably, I mean, it's the same thing with most countries. I mean, you come into the United States and you're allowed to stay here with our tourist visa for 6 months. And if you stay 7, they'd probably be like, okay, that was really a bad idea. If you stay more than that, then they're like, you might not be allowed to come back. So I get it.
Yeah.
It's
and I'm looking at our chat box right now, and I wanted to show this one.
I want to just quickly say to John in SoCal, who's a longtime viewer, dude, thank you so much. I really apologize. I had this thing called Nightbot installed, and I was testing some stuff about it. And I think what I did is I turned on something like, delete repeated comments or something. So it threw up something that says, we heard you the first several times. Tranquilo, por favor. That was not me. That was a bot. I absolutely hate it. And I'm really sorry it did that. It won't do it again. I've deleted it. So please, John, continue to watch. Please continue the comment. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, here's something that came up from... Yeah. Will Thailand go into lockdown in 2020? What's crazy is I was actually asked that question from a friend from Southern California who is coming in November with me. And he says, hey, have you heard that Thailand will go back into lockdown 2020? And I said, what are you talking about?
What are you talking? Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, these guys are partying right now. Mm-hmm. And he mentioned that he saw someone else's YouTube and everybody is wearing masks again, and he's nervous about booking his flight. All I can say is I can't see this place coming into lockdown at all. Matter of fact, these Thai people are hungry for us to come back. And I don't mean it in they're poor and they need us to come back. This is their livelihood. And us being here, us meaning American people or the Western people or people from Europe or Australia, wherever you're from, they want you here. I mean,
yeah.
And they're pulling out the stops to make sure we're here. And I don't wear a mask here in Thailand, like at all. And this weekend, I noticed more and more people are wearing masks again. I'm not sure exactly why, other than it was a holiday weekend. But yeah, my friends who are coming in November, I told them, do not worry about it. Book your darn ticket. You are coming. There isn't really any restrictions other than you need to show your vaccine card. So make sure you have your vaccine card with you. And guys, don't freak out on the vaccine card. When you get to the airport in your own country, they literally just look at it. And it was a baggage guy who looked at mine and then sent me on my way. No one else. It was the guy who does puts the baggage on for if you're taking checked luggage. And I'm thinking, he didn't write no paper, nothing. No. I never pulled out that card one time.
Same with the U.S. We're like supposed to be double vaccinated and all this nonsense. Gracie wasn't asked for it, and I certainly wasn't asked for it with Global Entry. They're just like, oh, welcome home.
Right, and that's another thing about being vaccinated. So right now at the Patia Music Festival, which you guys probably can't hear it in the background, but I'm hearing Jom Tien on Soy 13, and I got my window open and I can hear it blasting.
That's awesome.
To get in to it, it's free. to get into it, you do have to show your vaccine card and wear a mask. That's about as strict as it gets right now.
Thailand, I mean, again,
So,
and the thing about them doing that is I would submit that at the Jomtien Music Festival, the majority of the attendees are Thai. A lot of I would say the majority of the people vacationing in Pattaya and Jomtien right now are Thai. And so they're used to that. They're used to having to show the vax card. They're used to having to do, So I think that that's pretty, kind of acceptable. I have said the whole time I think Thailand was great at the way that they operated as a team once COVID started. In the last year, I would submit they're overreacting. And I believe they're putting too much fear into the minds of the Thais through their media. But I can't speak 100% to that. Maybe Kitty could give her opinion because, of course, I can't understand enough Thai to listen to their. But what I've heard from Thais who speak English is that, I mean, they're just everything is. I mean, they're gonna, and now there's monkeypox, and all this. So, but I agree with you, dude. Book your ticket. Book your ticket.
Book your ticket.
Yeah.
Come over here, and it looks like I'm coming in November 2. No lockdowns, and I would not even fear a lockdown. Book your ticket. Things are going to open up full time. I mean, I'm driving around Pattaya late last night, Tree Town and Soi Buakhao, and it's really off the hook. Those who have been here before, I was here in 2019. It is definitely different even from 2019. Walking Street is getting whole facelift right now. So
okay, so hold on. Let's back up. We'll compare it to 2019 because, again, that was like the world was normal. And if you watch the statistics in Thailand, 2017, 2018, 2019, I mean, it was to do 100 million tourists a year, for God's sake. So you're saying right now in 2022, it's basically, summer, July, August kind of thing. Yeah. You're saying that Soi Buakhao and Tree Town are more populous now than it was in 2019 when you were here?
In my opinion, oh, absolutely. And I mean, my opinion, I actually look at Tree Town. So Tree Town, and you guys can look back at my videos. Tree Town has paved pretty much all of it now. 90% of it is paved roads. All the bars are open. There might be, of the 60 or 70 bars in that little square, there might be one or two that are under construction or whatnot. Okay. And we're not just talking lady bars. We're talking lady bars. We're talking lady boy bars. There's a couple go-go's.
Restaurants.
There's pool restaurants. There's a mixed club called the Buzzin' Bar, which has it's a new bar.
What's his name?
Trevor.
Yeah.
Yep. From Buzzing Pattaya. Check out his channel.
Hugely
So there you
popular.
go. I don't have no shame in pubbing other YouTubers, guys. But he opened up a bar. At least I'm assuming it was him and an investor group. Yeah. And, which is a nice bar, a nice club. These places are pretty darn full. Mike, I was really surprised. And if you guys have not been to Tree Town, and like Daniel's coming in November, I highly, highly recommend going to the Tree Town, grab some food, and check it out. I'm actually going to go back there tomorrow. And I will be videoing, and it actually ends up being really a lot of fun, and it's busier than 2019. Go ahead.
That's amazing. Oh, well, to be fair, I mean, I don't know. That seems amazing to me. That's really good news for Pattaya and Jomtien, of course, because their economy was decimated.
Well, and there's definitely some changes happening. So in 2019, I came as a holiday tourist and ended up staying an extra 30 plus days because I went to the Philippines right in the middle. And I said, heck, I'm not going home. This place is awesome. I love it. And again, guys, I had been following tons of YouTubers thinking, man, this could be me. I love doing YouTube, but not only as a YouTuber, but living here. I actually really enjoyed 2019. And I did Soy 6, guys. I partied. I did Walking Street. I drank probably too much.
There's no such thing.
I learned a couple of lessons, but it was great. It was a good time, and I came back. So right now, fast forward 2022, when I say it's changed, I believe it's changed for the better. Prices have gone up a little bit, which you guys, if you haven't heard, looking at other people's YouTube channels, prices have gone up. We're talking from lady drinks all the way up to rents in different condos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's just inflation. But it's still the best place to come for the bang for the buck.
Yeah.
Literally bang for the buck, Mike.
Bum.
Bum, bum. But it's really a great time. And by the way, Kitty just came in. So
oh, hey, what's going on? Hello,
there
Kitty.
she is, guys. All right. There it is. And I will be posting some videos about Kitty coming up here, guys. So definitely stay tuned. You're going to see some fun stuff with her.
I know for me and Gracie, one of the things is like, you guys got to do a video on how you met. I don't know why we still haven't done that, but I'm sure that you and Kitty are going to do a video like that, right? Like, this is how we met. This is why, we're together and all that. So,
yes, we're actually working on that right now. So real quick, if you guys saw a video I posted a week ago, it's called Busted. Check it out. It's where, and this is a sketchy moment, guys. I mean, it did make me nervous. I'm not going to BS you because people scared me thinking, if you come back to Thailand and what if she is with blank? Basically, I didn't tell her.
Right.
I did not tell her that I was coming back to Thailand from California.
Right.
She thinks I'm coming back in November, and I just showed up at the doorstep. And she, of course, is freaking out like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Her heart's racing. She's crying. It's really a cool video. Be sure to check it out. And no, I didn't run into any crazy situations. And had I would definitely put it on video. It'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's
so. It would be crazy.
So seriously, like some guys were like, "Oh, dude, you're gonna go as surprise her, and she's gonna like be with some other guy or whatever."
Yes, and that is, you know what, guys, I get
it.
why some of you guys
Sure.
say that.
Sure.
And so I mean, shit happens, stuff happens, and did I think it was going to happen? Absolutely not. I've been with Kitty now, and I cultivated a relationship with her for 10 months before I met her physically. And again, 2019, guys, I did the bar scene, and I don't regret it. I loved it. I mean, there are girls everywhere, and it was just mind-boggling. I'm 48 years old at the time, going, "What the heck?"
So let me ask you,
going on to me.
I actually encourage guys to go through that process in the sense that I refer to it as you've got to get the patia out of your system. Because again, I don't care where you live in the U.S., even if you've been to Amsterdam, there is nowhere in the world like patia, especially like Soy 6, Walking Street, even Soy 8, that sort of thing. So how long did it take you to get it out of your system? Because for me, it was less than it was about 2 years maybe. So for you, it was probably less. It was like 6 months.
I would say, honestly, I don't think it's all the way out of my system when it comes to experiencing patia. And you guys, I'm very grateful. Mike encouraged me to go to a bar called Obsession in Bangkok.
Yeah.
And it's at Nana Plaza. And you know what? I walked into that bar. I came out going, okay, I'm happy that this isn't me.
Right.
Just so you guys know, it's at Nana Plaza, and it was my last night, by the way, before I was flying out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. After we did the live stream. Yeah.
It was on Nana Plaza. It was a ladyboy bar. Never been into one. Strictly ladyboys. I'm like thinking, by myself, thinking, okay, it's Mike. I'm going to do it. So I go in.
Mike told me
walk
to do
into
it.
the bar.
Probably
Mike told me to do it. I walk in, and I was definitely cross-eyed, by the way. Walked in, and one of the hottest humans I'd ever seen comes up to me and says, "Hey, do you want a drink?" And I'm like, "Yes." I have a drink, and I buy them a drink for 220 baht, which, by the way, that's where prices are lower for a lady drink or a lady boy drink, however you want to call it, a bar drink.
Yeah.
And
lady drink,
gorgeous, speaking great English. It's like highly educated English.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
And I asked her, and I said, "Why aren't anybody dancing? They're just standing on this stage. Why aren't they dancing?" And she looks at me. She goes, "That's what happens at a ladyboy bar."
Right.
Like, really? I'm expecting crazy dancing or whatever, because 2 bars down at the hoedown, or whatever you want to call it, they're going crazy. Which, by the way,
go ahead. Yeah,
it's one of my favorite bars. And as she's talking to me, I'm like kind of going, and she takes her hand. Drink in one hand, takes her other hand as I'm sitting next to her, puts it on my leg. You guys, nothing. It was like, what the heck? So I said, "Thank you very much for the drink." and I said, hey, if we can get one of these girls to start dancing on there, I'm going to tip them out.
Huh?
And one of the girls read my lips, and she started getting down, and I went up there and gave her 1,000 baht.
Oh,
And every
dude,
one of those
nice.
girls were just going crazy.
Oh,
And of
yeah.
course they got a bell rang on me. And
You rung the bell in
yeah,
Obsession. What'd
yeah,
that cost
it
you?
was a little too much, Mike. It was 5,000
Well,
baht,
I
so
was
it
going to say
wasn't
it's
as much
probably at
as I
least
thought.
$4,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was well
Good
worth
for
it. It was an
you.
experience I had.
You
And
said the hoedown. I know the bar you're talking
yeah.
about. Yours is Hillary, too. You love that one, don't you?
The
Isn't that the
Hillary
one you
bar,
like?
it was good only because they returned my jacket.
Yeah,
And I
right.
did meet to return my jacket. That was awesome. I lost my
Your
jacket.
10,000
So
baht jacket. Yeah.
yeah, I'd say probably my favorite bar, if it's a lady bar, it's on Soy 6, and it's called the Toy Box.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's where I saw a celebrity there, and I'm like a legit celebrity, like an
Mm-hmm.
A-list Hollywood person who I
Yeah.
didn't know it was that person until I was told, "Did you know that was him?" And I look at him again, I'm like, "Holy shit, that is that guy." I didn't want to call him out on this, so we're not going to. But anyways,
Well, it's pretty
girls were
common
just
knowledge that he was there. Russell
Russell
Crowe.
Crowe.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I mean, no, everyone
There we
knows.
go.
Yeah, 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 sure. Whatever.
So it was pretty crazy, and I really enjoyed that bar. And you guys, I don't drink a whole bunch like at all. When I go to bars, I drink a seltzer, an orange juice. I might have one drink. That's just not my jam. So back to the original question: is it out of my system? How long has it taken me? Most of it is out of my system.
Mm,
I think the last part that really isn't is I love exploring that scene, checking it out, and
hmm.
just going. I mean, it's crazy. It's
Well,
crazy to see
because
for sure.
it's so different, right? I mean, it's one thing to say, okay, yeah, I went to a go-go bar and there was a brass pole and there was a girl in a bikini and she was dancing. It's like, okay, yeah, I get that. I mean, you can almost do that in the United States, kind of. But I mean, it is very different because again, when you go in there, at least my experience, and it's been a while, but they're quite nice. And, they're not going to attack you. And I think a lot of guys have this impression. Like I think one of the guys commented in here about there you go, yeah. So many guys watching the Thai girlfriend horror story videos. Same with the Philippines. Like, oh my God, all Filipinos, they're going
Yeah.
to screw you over, and all this. Thai women are great, but good stories don't get the views or subs. Absolutely. I mean, Gracie and I do a video of us like cruising around and having a good time. Chris watches, Roger watches, Robbie watches. They're all like, hey, that's so cool. Dave from Gotta Love Thailand. But I'm not getting 10,000 views, right? Because, of course, Gracie's got clothes on, and we're probably smiling too much. And they think, oh, he's full of shit. Mike's never that happy. And, so yeah, I get it. There's a lot more news on TV of people dying in a car crash than there is of walking old ladies across the street by the Cub Scouts. So I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And this comment right here from Patrick, you're absolutely correct. The town isn't busier yet, but it is getting there. I think we're not in peak season. We're in rain season. We're in
You're in
monsoon.
low season, dude.
We're in
Absolutely.
low season.
Yeah.
But people are converging on Tree Town, which man, they've done it right. I would not consider it the new Soy 6, as some people have said. It's
No,
definitely
it's a
got
different
some of
vibe.
that, but it's a different vibe. I actually really enjoy the vibe because I go there, I eat, I hang out. You don't get the same pressure of, hey, buy me a drink, where when I'm on Soy 6,
Yeah.
I'm getting my crotch grabbed or whatever it might be.
Yeah,
and
sure.
yeah, whatever. It is what it is. And that's a
LK
whole different
Metro
vibe.
is probably the new Soy 6, wouldn't you say?
I wouldn't, only because I did go into some of those bars recently with one of my Aussie Posse guys, and it was definitely a little bit higher class, in my opinion.
Okay.
Higher class. We went into a couple of gentlemen's clubs,
Mm-hmm.
got to hang out with the Mama San, actually. It was pretty
Yeah.
cool. She introduces us to a couple of girls,
I'm sure.
and we're like, Mama San, you should need to hang out with us. And she goes, oh no. We gave her a huge tip.
Oh,
And
yeah,
of course,
buy me
she
a
was our
drink.
best friend.
Yeah,
We didn't
sure.
buy her a drink. We gave her like 1,000 baht extra,
Oh,
and
okay.
she was our best friend for the next
Yeah.
3 hours.
Sure.
And she was just, she was 58 years old and just normal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember which club that was. Anyways, a lot of fun. A couple of places that have, I think, changed for the better. You got Soy Pothole, which of course is all a bunch of massage places. It's fun walking down. I really enjoyed walking it.
Soy Pothole, you're referring to the one that's across from Soy Diana?
Metro. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
okay, yeah. Soy
Yeah,
Chayapoon,
across the
I
street there.
believe is the name of it. It might be another one. I'm
Is
trying
that
to
it?
remember. Trying to remember what it's called. Mitch will know. Mitch absolutely will know the name of it. It's a very well-known place. Let me see if I can find it. But
Well, I tell you what,
anyway.
I've really enjoyed the changes from 2019. Of course, I'm not saying it was a good thing that happened, but it did definitely change the feel of Pattaya area. So those of you who are in Pattaya now and who have experienced that change, you guys, if you've been down Walking Street, they've completely, not gutted it, but they tore up the whole road and
Okay,
they've
good.
replaced every little brick.
Okay.
And man, it looks pretty cool. I think it's going to make a full recovery by November.
So when we were
Full
there,
recovery.
I'm trying to think if you and I walked down there. Anyway, I walked down there the last time I was there in the
Tore up.
evening. And it was
Yeah.
like halfway down, there was still some stuff going on. And then the rest of it from like about halfway down Walking Street all the way to the pier, friggin' dead. Like absolutely dead. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if they're smart, they're going to doze all of this stuff and put in a giant spa. It's going to be like beachfront condos, call up Marriott, call up, Best West and say, look it, guys, this is because at the end of the day, I mean, that's prime real estate. It's like right on the water. And to sit there and be like, oh yeah, we're making the most money possible with like that, that bar thing where there's like bar, the beer bars, they have one after another.
Yeah.
And each one has maybe like 2 people at it. And then there's always the wicked popular one that's totally filled, and then all the other ones are like starving. But I mean, I think go ahead.
Yeah, I really could see it making 100% recovery. I was just down there the other day, and the bar barn or bar area, right before you get into where the sign is, all the beer bar area, has opened back up, and I was amazed. I didn't see any Muay Thai boxing rings in the middle of it, but I did see a bunch of the bars open back up. Girls were there, and you guys, this is off season. I mean,
so I was just remembering when we were down in Walking Street because we went to see my buddy who was the singer at that one place. The Muay Thai, the Muay Thai, like I don't know what you call it, ring, I guess. That's near there, right? And that's not open yet.
I think the ring is gone.
Oh, so, okay. Well,
yeah, I didn't see, but that whole street, Mike, has been torn up and then replaced brick by brick. A great job. I want to walk down there. Matter of fact, I'm going to shoot a video the next couple of days, an evening video, and you guys hopefully will check it out firsthand. How about that?
Wow, that's pretty cool, dude. Huh. I mean, that's good. Well, you know what's funny, right? So Mr. Soy 6, if you will, like Brian Flowers, on one of his streams a while ago, he said, if anyone came to me and said, where should I open up a bar right now? And of course, a lot of people would say, oh, he's going to say Soy 6. No, he's like, no, Walking Street. Walking Street is where you should open a bar right now. And of course, a lot of guys are like, what are you, crazy? The rent's way too high. It's overpopulated. LK Metro's the new one. Tree Town is the new hip place. And for some reason, he's like, no, Walking Street. And I find it very interesting that he said that. And then just only a few months later, your report is, oh, yeah, no, Walking Street's back. Because, I mean, it used to be... I looked at a place there. It's, what's it called? Is it Soy? What is the one Soy off of, is it Diana? Maybe not. Anyway, you go in and then there's like a Soy that goes to the left and there's that one bar at the end that like rotates around. The seats go around a circle at the end of it. And then right to it's where Susie Wong's is and, is it Shark? Anyway. There was a bar on the left. It's actually right next to Soy Diamond. Thank you, Patrick. It's right next to Toys R Us. And it was for sale. And they wanted like 200,000 baht key money. And they were showing a profit since like 2015. Carousel Bar. Patrick, you're my hero, dude. We got to hang. You're the tour guide that Chris needs. Absolutely, man. You going to sign that NDA?
I need to meet Patrick.
Yeah. No, Patrick, where are you? I mean, obviously, you've got a lot of... I mean, I know Mitch is physically there, so he obviously has a lot of the knowledge. But where are you? Because you always comment. I mean, obviously, you have the knowledge of it. But are you physically in Pattaya? because that would be really cool. We gotta do a meetup. Now I know Robbie is going to be at the Wombat YouTube meetup live stream thingy in September because it's the first Saturday in September, right? I'm going to miss that by like 1 week.
I think I fly back that day. If I'm not, I'm for
that's
sure going to be
right.
there.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not
Cool.
sure yet. Yeah. But I will be in Bangkok for a week. So, guys, just an update. I did have to cancel my Philippine trip, which was supposed to be for this next week.
Oh.
Yeah. I did have to cancel that. So I will be shooting a lot more video here in Jomtien, Pattaya, as well as Bangkok.
Do you want to go into that? That's more of a. If you guys don't know, so Robbie and I basically are in business together. We have like this project that we're working on that is. Hold on, let me make sure that I can properly. Right there, which is the Spot logo. If you guys know anything about Kiss FM Pattaya, you know that it is adequate, but the Spot.fm is going to be the best broadcast solution and social media management powerhouse that you'll ever live next to. Anyway, so that's our project, the Spot. And so one of the things that he was going to do is he was going to get a team. So you want to talk about that off air, maybe?
So yeah,
the
real
Philippines
quick, guys.
thing.
So
yeah, I'd like because I'm sure guys would like to know, like, wait, how does he like do his business? Yeah, how do you live? How do you do your business? Yeah.
Yeah. So I am not 100% retired, and I don't plan on being 100% retired.
No, I know.
I like living the retired life.
Sure.
So I have a full business operation back in the States with a team in California and a team in the Philippines. A team meaning 5 or more employees full time. So yeah, so part of what I'm going to do is managing both these teams back and forth, and part of it includes flying into the Philippines on a regular basis. So when I'm coming back here in November, I have 2 trips already planned to go to the Philippines to do training, a bunch of licensing and stuff like that. The kind of business I run is online development company for small SMBs, small to medium businesses, basically social media, graphic design, websites, that kind of stuff. How that ties in with the Spot is that logo that Mike is going to point at right about.
Damn it.
There it is.
The
right
Spot.
about now. Yeah. So we're going to be really launching that come November. And I'm hoping you guys can get on board. It's not just some social media thing. It's going to have kick-ass music. Right now, you can check it out with the Spot.fm. Pop in that music. You guys, I think, would love it. It fits Pattaya. It fits the Western music culture here in Pattaya. And that's something that I'm going to be promoting. I'm going to be the boots on the ground here in Pattaya. And it's Thailand wide, but we're really going to launch it here in the Pattaya area. So that is the project. So you're going to see me wearing shirts with the Spot logo. You're gonna see our stuff start flying around come November. We're gonna do a full launch party. It's like Mr. Mitch said, we'll have a meetup just for you, Mike. Or maybe we can get Mr. Mitch do a one that's for the Spot.
If
so
he
Mr.
dances,
Mitch, check it out.
If he dances.
You know what? Yeah. I met the guy for the first time physically, and I'm wondering, does he dance? Because he was at the Wombat having a good time.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I only got to say hi to him for like 2 seconds. And then he was off. This guy's like a little celebrity at that place. So.
He is. Absolutely. I will tell you that he definitely came up as pretty much, one of the more famous moderators on YouTube channels, especially during the live stream craze. But I will say also one other thing. Yeah, like Robbie said, I mean, we want to have fun with it, right? And obviously I took on the project with Kiss FM Pattaya. That's actually what we spent over 2 hours talking about when we met for the first time over bagels. But so that's dance, right? And it's going to be like party related and that sort of thing because we're going to roll it out of the sort of the Kiss brand and into the Spot. It's going to be much better. The social media marketing arm of it is going to be world class. But the other thing is, you guys know, of course, about me is that I have BKK.FM, and I did that, and I started that in Bangkok, of course, and it's very rock related. But one of the things we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we have a brand for each individual city, right? And so therefore, that's why we have the Pattaya.fm. Obviously, there's BKK.fm, but right now, the important thing about Pattaya.fm is all it does is redirect to BKK.fm. But what we're going to do is we're going to basically have 2 brands Thailand-wide. We're going to have the Spot, which is going to be the absolute coolest dance music, party, that sort of thing. And then we're going to have these other .fms. We're going to have Pattaya.fm, Samui.fm, Phuket.fm, and those are going to be the rock stations, being basically led by BKK.fm. And they're going to allow, obviously, for a completely additional demographic, right? So guys, they're like, oh my God, dude, I haven't heard, Duran Duran in forever. I love Motley Crue, Porcelain by Moby. We just played a little while ago. Mr. Big, Green Tinted 60s Mind. If you guys remember that song from like the 90s. So we're going to have all that, right? So it's going to be a really, really great package. And so I just wanted to make sure we clarify that BKK.fm is not going away anytime soon. It's actually going to be expanded into the Pattaya.fm, Samui.fm, Phuket.fm. And Robbie and I are going to hopefully, do our best to do that. One of the things I wanted to ask, though, because I know that a lot of guys have asked me this, they probably ask you this too, is, okay, so you have a team in the Philippines. And so you have like this remote team, right? Why do you think you need to physically go there to manage them? Because I've always been very interested in this, because obviously you're not, and they're still doing a great job. If you guys don't know, one of his team members from the Philippines is the one that posts on Kiss FM Pattaya's Facebook page, which of course will soon be Spot.fm. But so what do you? I mean, why the not going? I mean, obviously management remotely is working okay.
So it is going pretty well. But one of the things I got to become is more licensed. I know that's not proper English, but more licensed. Basically, because I have everyone over there, they're full-time paid employees. I have to register with the Philippine Tax Board, a bunch of other legal stuff.
Okay.
To really validate what I'm doing and be on the up and up. I really don't want to lose these employees. They're all college students or graduates. And I need to keep them on board and be able to pay them adequately, which is still a fraction of what my USA team costs. So that, and then going there, handling that firsthand is the way to go for sure.
Yeah.
And the team is great. They're really responsive and they're an awesome group to work with. So yeah, it's really a cool team. And so you guys definitely tune into the Spot. There's a lot of stuff we haven't even mentioned yet. That it's going to, have things that we're going to do, from events to just kick-ass music. And keep in mind, it is a Western music. It isn't Thai music. I mean, Mike, I don't think there's any Thai music. It's pretty much what he was saying, guys. Do you have a soundbite by any chance of Amaze Pulse of that, the deep voice? Do you have one handy that you could play?
He's BKK.fm, so I can play him. But no, I don't have anything. I don't have anything new for the Spot because the guy's got so much goddamn work now in the U.S.
Do you have anything right now? Do you have something right now? You could hit a button, or does that take a little time?
For BKK.fm? No, I always have that stuff available. I know that you love his testosteronic voice.
You guys hear this, man? Let's see if you can play it real quick.
Let me see here.
You guys are going to fall in love exactly.
He's my hero. I friggin' love this guy.
He's becoming my hero, and I have no idea who this guy is.
Yeah, let me see. Okay, so I got to do this and stand by here. Let me just do.
We are standing by.
Let's see if I can do
this. And
if
you guys don't love this, you don't love music.
Let's see here if I can do this.
Serving the universe from the best city on the whole freaking planet. This is BKK.FM. Bangkok.
So that's my buddy.
I love
David Lee. David Lee was born with 7 testicles, and they've only grown larger. He actually carries a wheelbarrow around. And, he's pretty awesome. He's a buddy of mine that I met years ago, and he does like Fox News, and he does NFL, and he does all that. So the fact that he like lends his pipes over to us, then and I have him do like some other stuff here. So this you've heard this before probably, but you'll appreciate it.
BKK.
Hello. Just listen up.
To all the other radio stations out there.
Warning.
Bend over. This is BKK.FM. Bangkok.
So anyway, okay, I could listen to these all day long.
So I could listen to that all day. You guys, I mean, hold on to your chairs. When the Spot stuff comes out, it's going to be epic. So that pretty much is what I do, how I make money, and working with Mike, and really becoming that full-time expat is pretty much the direction I'm going.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of this show, guys, is actually to talk to you guys about my journey and about how I'm getting there and asking for advice. And if Mr. Mitch is still on, which I think he is, I would love to do an interview. I would love to do an interview with this guy.
Oh, that would be
if he's available.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Where is he? Because I mean, Roger's in your same building. I can't remember where Mr. Mitch lives. I think he's on the Jomtien. Oh, maybe he's in Pratamnak. But anyway, he's close by, dude. Oh, that would be. I would love to see an interview from you guys.
Yeah.
That would be.
I would love to do it. So, Mitch, if you're on and you're up for it, I would love to do it and ask you some questions, just about expatting over there and just picking your brain a little bit. I would love to do that. So. He says he's in Jomtien. So if you're up for it,
oh, dude,
that would be awesome.
Are you connected with him on Facebook?
I do not know if I'm connected with him.
I will connect you two guys on Facebook. And so therefore you can,
all right.
I don't want to know if Mitch wants to share his Facebook, which is fine, but I'll make sure I connect you guys. One of the things I wanted to talk about, though, because before we sort of end the stream today, and we've only been going an hour. Our goal is to go from probably about 90 minutes to 2 hours every time. As you guys know, I can talk forever. Commercial free, but is the recent change that you made in your life, which for Southern California or anywhere really is significant, meaning you sold your really bitchin' car.
I did.
And you downsized. And traditionally in Southern California, people will associate that with he got divorced, he's bankrupt, he's a loser, he no longer, right? Which is such bullshit. But I mean, to just get over that nonsense, right? I mean, I had that issue. I was like, oh yeah, my $54,000 all-wheel drive Acura. I totally need to downsize. So of course I got a $34,000 two-wheel drive Acura, and I'm all proud of myself, right? Which is like, but it took various steps. And so talk to us about like that big step and potentially any others before that I don't remember. But I mean, the infamous selling my car and moving my life around, that's a big deal. What happened before that? Maybe?
Yeah, really interesting. The divorce, I didn't downsize. The divorce, I went out and upsized, which is pretty hilarious because I went out and bought a $50,000 car when I got divorced. Only to sell it 2 years later and buy another one. And which I just sold recently, guys, a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. I just dumped my BMW. Didn't dump it, but sold it. It was a 2020. So very nice M Series BMW.
M Series, that just means much more money, right? Isn't that the 3M?
A little bit too much. Yeah, a little too much. And I went and bought a small minivan. That's what's even the funniest thing is I got rid of the BMW and then I bought a Ford Transit Connect minivan. And that's part of my downsizing. So I'm going through that downsize process. Now, of course, my divorce, I got rid of my house and I live now in an apartment in a very expensive area, Pismo Beach. Downsizing my life to really be there in Thailand. And there's no reason why not when, man, it's beautiful here and I love it here. So, and I don't need a car to live here. However, I was just told today by another foreigner and Kitty and I were sitting there and the guy recommended that I buy a car. And Kitty, who was that? Roger, you're on. Was it you who recommended I buy a car? He's on right now.
Buy one? Why? Did he justify?
I'm not sure. Just other than they're safe, right? So I'm cruising around a motor scooter right now.
Was the sort of because you've got a car around you and the seatbelt versus just a helmet.
It's exactly
I can understand that. So
I went from a BMW M Series to a 125 Honda Click. So there you go, guys. Boom. And the chicks dig it. Dig it.
How freeing is it, right? I mean,
it's super freeing.
It's ridiculous. It's a totally different
car payment. Yeah, my car payment with insurance, all that stuff was $1,000 a month. And no joke. No joke at all. $1,000 a month. That was pretty darn crazy. And you guys, if you saw one of my videos recently where I budget out one full month, and I tell you guys exactly what I spend to the penny. Came out to $2,490, including entertainment, fun, for a full month. And that's living a pretty lavish life here at the Riviera Jomtien.
So wait, so your condo, the electric bill, the internet or whatever you have there, $290.
What do you mean $290?
Is that what you said? $290?
No. $2,495.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's so.
Yeah.
Well, that.
Yeah. So basically, why I bring that up is I went from I went from a $1,000 car payment.
Got it. Okay.
Not including my rent being in the thousands, and a bunch of other stuff, to a $2,400 life of freeness here in Thailand. So I get asked, why are you moving to Thailand? I love this comment right here. Here we go. Yeah. Downsize things and upsize your experience. Boom. Absolutely. Thank you, Patrick.
Yep.
Live your best life, buddy. Because if you're not doing it, you're not living. That's the way I feel about that, 100%. And by the way, guys, why I hit it off with Mike so well is this gratitude attack. My last video I posted, I have that moment. You guys will see it live. Nice. And having a complete gratitude attack is pretty insane for sure. And that's why I'm going to be here full time. Hopefully November, right, Kitty? November? She says November. Yes, November.
Yeah. When you were supposed to show up, right? None of this surprise.
When I'm supposed to show up, yeah. She's happy, though. She's been all smiles since I've been back.
So it's funny. So another thing that kid, I mean, I say kid, he's 21 years old, right? He's an adult. But the point is that he asked me, like about the traveling and the moving there. And a lot of people think, oh, my God, you're moving to Thailand. So you sold everything. Yeah. But you F you, United States. I'm not, whatever. And for me, I mean, the plan was move to Thailand, make that more permanent home, but absolutely come back here to Boston like once a year, and would have done it if COVID didn't, squelch that. But there's going to be. Did you mean to post that in the chat or just private chat me that?
That's a private chat.
Okay, do you want me to repost it?
Private chat? No, I don't want to repost that.
Oh, you don't? Okay, fair enough. Got it. Okay, no, I understand. So I still have an address in the United States. I still pay taxes in the United States. Of course, I'm a U.S. citizen, so no matter where I make money, I got to pay. But what are you planning to still have in the United States come this magic November one-way ticket to Thailand?
Great question. So come November, I think it's November 3rd or November 6th on my one-way ticket. Again, I will not be fully retired. I will have to come back again. My goal, which was a 10-year plan, ends in November 2023, which then I will come back with the one-way ticket and not come back. Essentially, I have to still run my business for this next year or so during the transition. I have actually signed a very large client, which I'm not allowed to disclose, which would set me up here in Thailand for pretty much forever. And it takes a year to kind of get that navigated. And I need to be back in the States for a month here, a month there. Okay. So I've been to Thailand here. This is my third trip this year. I'll be 4 by the time the year ends. So next year will be very similar. So I'll come in November. One-way ticket because I'm not sure when I'm coming back. My plan is to go to Cambodia, Vietnam, Philippines, kind of work on that retirement visa at the same time, come back to the States probably in April, maybe March.
Okay.
Come back for 2 months, come back to Thailand, go back to the States, and then come back November again. That's essentially the plan. Of course, plans do change. That's why I have one-way tickets.
Yeah.
If you guys have any advice for me about booking flights, you know what? Shoot them. Give me a message. I would love it. For sure. I'd love to know your guys' suggestions and thoughts.
Which is Google Flights. Use Google Flights.
Oh, yeah.
Price. And then book directly with the airline.
Yeah, and I
you
use
are an
United right
Expedia
now.
guy, right? I mean,
No, not anymore.
you're done with Expedia.
Oh, yeah, I haven't used them.
You were
I've been using United Direct, and when I was, but I've
Okay.
only flown. You've only flown here, and then since I kind of gotten away from Expedia because of my points, and then my business credit cards are all
Right.
through United.
Yep.
So
Rack 'em
I
up.
fly for pretty much for free.
Mm-hmm.
I did pay for a first class upgrade ticket, guys. If you want to know about that, check out my video. It's right there. So you can see the United's version of first class.
So wait, so you did you basically what? You booked business class and then upgraded to first?
That's the only thing they offer is business class. They don't have a first class flight. It's business. I know it's kind of janky.
That's all right.
But that's United.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it cost me like $600 and 30,000 miles is essentially what that cost me.
Well, that's nothing.
So that's really, it was awesome. So, and I was able to sleep on the plane, and I freak out flying already. So, I'm sure I'll get used to it. But yeah, that's pretty much.
Guys ask me about that. They're like, and a lot of them will also say, yeah, it sounds like your life is great, man. You and Robbie, you're living the dream over there in Thailand, but that flight is so friggin' long, right? They're just like, I can't take a 13 or some of them. I mean, most, they said the second hop is about 11, maybe 12 hours. But, I mean, your first time flying to Thailand and the first huge leg of that, whatever that was, whether it was from Japan or to Japan from LAX or whatever.
Yes, that was.
Were you like, okay, this is going to be hell? And then what was your impression of it? Like your first big long one?
So great question. My first flight here was at 9.5 or 11 hours, something like that. It was actually really great. It was ANA Airlines or whatever, which was freaking awesome. You guys loving
Japanese are amazing.
And the stewardess. Okay, 2019, my brain was different. I mean, the girls were just smoking hot on top of that, right? It's crazy. And I'm like in heaven because I'm just lots of anxiety. And then you get to Tokyo or whatever, NRT, and it's another, I want to say 5 or 6 hours to come over here on that. And that was with JAL at that time. So it was awesome. Now flying back, we hit mega turbulence, flew my ass out of the seat. That's what I get for not buckling up.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I was on strict meds. I pretty much freaked out. Yeah, it was not fun. Don't come to Thailand. I'm selfish. You guys, I'm selfish too. That's human. I love it. Love you guys.
Love Dave. Yeah, whenever it's a friggin' dump, it's unsafe. It's wicked expensive. Do not.
So expensive. So you guys might hate me for this. I wanted to mention this because I know we're going to be hitting some time for some of you guys. So come November, Thanksgiving, there's a group of people who I've invited to kind of tour Thailand with. You can catch it on my website. It's on, I'm going to put it in the bar here.
Yeah, Wims Media, right? You're doing you're doing like a tour kind of thing, right?
Yep. The thing is, you'll be on YouTube if you tour with me, but I don't collect any money. All the prices are listed. So basically, there's a bunch of guys coming from the States, a lot of guys who don't know each other. The last several years, we've done it since 2019, and we pretty much do the same itinerary, just a little bit different here and there, different bars and clubs or whatever. But basically, it starts Thanksgiving weekend and it goes for 2 weeks, and we tour around Bangkok, Pattaya, Phuket, back to Bangkok, and guys go home. So that's pretty.
Ooh, what happened? Did I lose him or did you lose me? Oh my goodness, that's very interesting. Is my internet dead? Oh my God, how friggin' annoying. Hopefully Robbie's still going and it's okay. But yeah, that's very disappointing. I can't stand when that happens. And let me see if I can. Oh no, he's frozen, but I'm going. I can't stand. He's gone. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. That's all right. He's in. I mean, the internet in Thailand is pretty decent, but I'm still up. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, guys. As you know, that would bug me. In is such a large way. If that is the tough thing. I do want to do a shout out because he was giving me shit. I do want to say hello to Steph. a lot of you guys have absolutely, and then he'll come back here pretty soon. A lot of you guys have seen Steph's Traveler is the name of his channel. I think he changed it a couple years ago, but of course he did a ton of videos from Pattaya, and he's a really good guy. And he's also an engineer, technology guy, so we have a affinity for each other's sort of way of thinking, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, I also wanted to say that Dave, Gotta Love Thailand, he's live streaming tomorrow, which is awesome. What time, Dave? What time would that be in Thailand? I can't remember. I think you do 8 a.m. Thailand, right? So 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Sunday, which would be 8 p.m. pretty much, or rather 9 p.m. East Coast back here. So that'll be pretty cool. I also want to thank Mitch for coming by. I know that he has to jump off and take a. There we go. Cool. 8 a.m. Excellent. Thank you so much. Yeah, alarm is set. Some of you guys, I got to tell you, man, I was so honored when I was doing live streams regularly. I think it was Mitch and also Mariano. You guys would set alarms. And for Mariano, it was like 3 a.m, and he'd like hop on. I was just like, oh my God, dude, you're my friggin' hero. I love Germans. Reminder locked in. Yeah, does that work? That always kinds of work. So I saw your post, Chris, and I actually don't want to let it out publicly. But if you got some miles that you're just dying to get rid of, if you got miles burning a hole in your pocket, I'm your guy. And of course, selfishly, that means that you could fly to Boston right now and have lobster with Gracie and I. So that's my little selfish plug as far as your miles go. But I wanted to. I do want to get to the comments, which of course is something that I am just horrible at. But yeah. So anyway, so what he was saying, check out Robbie's channel, whimsmedia.com. Let me open up Line just to make sure that he isn't messaging me saying, "Oh my God, there's a power outage." But yeah, whimsmedia.com. So walking in my shoes, right? Media. And he's got this like tour thing that he's trying to put together, and he just wants to do it to hang out with guys. And so that's kind of cool. Greedy Travels just released a video about a round trip flight to Philippines and all the troubles he had with KLM. Says he won't ever fly with them. Yeah, I mean, that happens, right? I mean, I've been very lucky with, or I've been pleased, let me just say, with EVA Air. ANA is also another one, All Nippon Airways, Japanese company. Japan Airlines, Gracie and I flew. Here's why I absolutely adore Japan Airlines. Is because, again, their culture is quite short in general, okay? But their like coach seats are one of the few that also ANA, so also another Japanese airline. I'm 6'2", I can actually sit in the coach seats and have enough legroom. I made the mistake of getting us in the absolute last row because I'm like, I really don't want anyone behind me. And of course, the plane kind of goes like this towards the back. So I had a little bit less room when we were all the way in the back. But other than the absolute back seat, Japan Airlines in any of the regular seats, for a guy who's 6'2", long legs, and my knees are not great, which means I need to extend my legs in the sense that if I bend my knees for too long, it's really uncomfortable. So I normally have to pay at least $100, if not like $300 for the extra seat in the emergency exit row. And I didn't have to do that with Japan Airlines. So thank you very much. Now, KLM, I've actually heard pretty good things about. I also heard fairly good things about Qatar Airways that goes through Doha, which of course would have hopped us over the Atlantic to get here to Boston. But they were kind of lame in their customer service, and their response time wasn't awesome. And so what I did, much like Robbie was saying, he uses United.com to book things, right? Which means it's also part of Star Alliance. And so therefore I've used United.com, and I will not fly United because they're freaking incompetent. But I can book through other Star Alliance partners. So I use United.com and all of my points and that sort of thing to book on EVA Air, which is also part of Star Alliance, which allows me for a much, much better experience. And so I'm sorry to hear that he had that experience. I hope that he documented what happened. I'm not a Greedy travel. I've heard of Greedy, but I think Robbie's actually subscribed to him. But let's go. Oh wait, did I just hear him come back? 1.73 meters sitting one world. Let me. There you go. All right, buddy. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Cool Kids table. What happened? Naturally, we're all curious.
I have no idea. I think I was talking to myself for a while. So sorry,
probably.
guys.
I do that. I would submit you're probably on the mic on your Mac because it's more reflective than your earbuds. Those earbuds you have are actually pretty decent. So I want to get to some of these comments, of course, which I never do. Do not fly China. So I would have to agree with that. Also, Rike, if you guys know, not walking. I was almost said walking in my shoes. Life Beyond the Sea, Rike, he had a really, really bad experience. Gratefully documented most of it. He was mildly politically correct in some of it, but at the end of the day, he had a very bad experience. I believe it was China Air. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But I know it was definitely a Chinese airline. Would love 80K. Yeah, absolutely right. 70. What did he say? 73 million, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's my. I mean, you're just amazing, dude. You are just amazing. Let's.
Are you going through the question? Are you going through all the questions right now?
Yeah. I was just going through the chat and stuff. You're still, I think, on your mic from your Mac and not your earbuds. But it's fine. It's just that my guys are absolutely used to having a lot of warm mids, and I like to keep my mids warm right here with my sweaty balls. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Amaze balls.
You remember sweaty balls? Before there was amaze balls, I think there was sweaty balls actually, which would be pretty good. If you guys don't know, today we are using the Restream platform. If any of you live streamer guys or any of you tech guys know, Restream.io is the company. I'm a big fan of those guys. I started using them early on when people started multicasting, right? So you just do the RTMP stream to them, and not to get too technical, but they were really great at that. But they also have an in-browser solution, very similar to StreamYard, but it's actually got a couple more features. It's a little bit more tolerant, actually, of what just happened to Robbie, but it bounces him off and brings him back in. But regardless, I just wanted to give a shout out to Restream, as they do a very cool job. And the reason there's blue and yellow is a lot of their developers are from the Ukraine. And so I do have some empathy for them. I don't watch the news and stuff, so I don't know what's going on over there. All I know is that it's a friggin' shit show. I don't like have one side or the other. I have friends that apparently his wife like grew up near Ukraine, and she hates the Ukrainians because of where she grew up. So her taste in her mouth is basically about the same as your buddy with KLM. But anyway, I just wanted to do that. So how you doing over there, dude? You back in audio heaven?
I have no idea. I'm assuming you're talking to me there.
I am talking to you.
Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Because my ego is fragile, as you know, and if you can't, that would be very, very bad.
It is fragile. There you go. Guys, we only have a few more minutes anyway, so
yeah, true.
Were you able to read off all these questions, or because now I can't see any of them?
Oh, you joined as a guest. You're no longer my co-host.
Well, I think I'm a co-host, but it only shows the last 3. So.
Okay, all right. Well, I know it's all right. So here's the thing: we're at 1 hour and 27 minutes, and the neat thing is that we basically wanted to go about 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Robbie, for doing this, man. I'm really excited. I think we've got our mojo on here, and I think we've got some good momentum. So I think we can absolutely commit to doing this basically 1 week from today, right? So basically,
same time.
Saturday will be 8 p.m. Bangkok, 9 p.m. Philippines, 9 a.m. East Coast time, 6 a.m. California. Which reminds me, I think she's your worker, the girl that always watches our live streams and comments like crazy. Who's that? What's her name?
That is Christy, and Christy. I don't know if she's on right now.
Oh,
or not,
dude, so fired! I can't wait till you get back there. We got to hold her accountable.
Yeah, I know. Where the hell is she? Because what's going on here?
Oh, and who's your buddy? Who's your buddy who would like comment on a lot of stuff?
Yeah, I'm sure he's not on. There's a couple of them, but they're not
California.
all at 6 o'clock in the morning.
They're not up early.
Yeah,
they can talk about Thailand.
They're not, but that's okay. They'll view the stream later. But guys, definitely put in if times work different for you. That might be better.
That's a good point.
Do you guys have a time that you guys would want? This show is made for you guys, as well as for me. I'm gonna learn from you all. Like I see John posted something about Cathay and JL or some of his favorite airlines, which I 100% agree.
Cathay Pacific is pretty awesome. Also Singapore Airlines, they're pretty rad.
And this is a great comment right here. So let's just post it from I'd rather paddle than fly Philippine or Cebu Pacific. It's pretty hilarious.
I have no expectations of Cebu Pacific other than the fact that it's really cheap, but you got to pay. You got to overpay any advertised fare for them. You basically got to double it because all the taxes they throw in, which is really frustrating.
So here we go. Marino says, too late for me. He likes the 9 a.m. BKK time, which I like too. But I'm open to whatever. I know Mike is for the most part. Or do you need your beauty sleep, Mike?
I need a significant amount of it. As you can tell, I'm not getting it. 9 a.m. Bangkok time. The downside for that is 10 p.m. where I'm at in Boston. And there's a couple of things. One of you guys know that I don't own an indoor voice, and I'm indoors. And so therefore at 10 p.m., I would potentially wake up my parents, even though they're about 2,000 feet away at the other end of the house. And they would probably graciously be like, oh, no, we didn't hear you much except for the 90-minute live stream, Mike. But, yeah, so that would be a tough time for me.
Yes. So how much longer are you in? Away from home?
Good point. Right. So good question. I am Gracie and I are here till about September 14th or 15th. You know, there's the day of travel. So we'll be back basically mid-September in Bangkok, and she and I will both be back there for at least a month. She's going to go to the Philippines a little later. But we have to renew the visa and basically get our 2-year visa rolled in, which will be really, really friggin' awesome. And hopefully, because of the way the BOI is operating right now, I won't have to do 90-day reports. Hopefully, I'll only have to do annual reports. But yeah, I know that you like that time better. 11 p.m. in Brisbane now. Now Chris is up all friggin' night, so I'm not worried about him. He's ridiculously flexible.
So when you're back in September, are you here then for a while, or is it something that you're bolting again?
No. So I mean, again, the plan was move to Thailand and live there, and then cruise all over Southeast Asia. Come back to the Boston area in the summertime, visit my folks, and still be able to have hot and humid weather. So that's basically the plan now for an annual sort of thing. There will probably be an annual trip to the Philippines. But Gracie needs to go back, and we need to do some more legal stuff. Hopefully bring her parents over for some vacation, but also bring her daughter over, my daughter. And so we can get her into school. Yeah, because I think the schools in Bangkok, there's going to be a lot more options for her. So that'll be awesome. So yeah, so we'll be back for however long. Yeah, I certainly will be back all the way through November, dude, to welcome you back. So that perfect.
Yeah. Well, I know we're planning on changing up the way we do the show. Anyways, this is only going to go for, I guess, a few weeks. I don't know. We haven't talked about the time frame of this, and then we'll change it up because you'll be in Bangkok and I'll be back in California for only 2 months.
Right.
I think we should leave it off at that. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds great. I really appreciate. Thank you, Robbie. Thank all of you guys for all of your comments. We still have 18 people watching, which I'm totally honored by. Again, Robbie's channel, Walking in My Shoes Thailand, youtube.com/Walking in My Shoes Thailand. I'm Mike from Live My Ass Off. And with that, we hope you're living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, you're doing it wrong. And right now is a great time to...
I'm Robbie from Walking in My Shoes Thailand. Be sure to live your best life, because if you're not living it, you are not living.
Boom. Up top.
Boom. All right.
There we go. High five. There we go. Did this sideways.
How does that work?
I don't know, dude.
Bam.
Technology. We'll figure this out.
Bam. All right, guys.